Hi there, it's a brand new week here on Mosaic, and we have lots of exciting news in store for you. Cameras are one of the tools that we use to capture precious moments in time. Have you ever thought, though, about the repairmen behind these essential tools? Later on, it's off to a chat with a British-Vietnamese pianist to learn more about her journey in bridging cultures through music. And then fancy a portrait photo session for your beloved pets? A Filipino artist might just give you the perfect snapshot through the project Hanoi Pets Portrait. 4 generations of camera repairmen in a family. A talk with British-Vietnamese pianist Whitby Cha. And later on, Filipino artist Josh Roxas and the Hanoi Pets Portrait Project. On Sunday evening, April 30th, an imposing opening ceremony of the Da Nang International Fireworks Festival 2017 officially began at 8:30 p.m. and it attracted thousands of local residents and visitors. Entitled Tỏa Sáng Ngũ Hành Sơn, or Shining Marble Mountains, this year's event involves 8 teams which have won many top prizes at international firework competitions around the world. Host Da Nang, Vietnam, and fire event Die Feuerwerken from Austria sparked the opening night of the 2017 Da Nang International Fireworks Festival with a spectacular performance in the sky of the central city. The festival is assigned for a 2-month-long period for tourists arranging their holiday schedules between April and June, instead of only a 2-night performance as in previous festivals. It is expected that the event will attract over 2 million tourists between April and June. The biannual Hue Traditional Craft Festival was held from April 28 to May 1st in the ancient capital city of Hue. The festival honored the quintessence of Vietnamese craftsmanship, enhanced business efficiency of traditional crafts, while also speeding up cooperation in multifaceted fields, especially promoting socio-economic development and branching out craft products along with tourism. This year's event drew the participation of 327 craftsmen from 40 villages. For the first time, the festival saw the attendance of some craft villages located miles away from Hue, like Nam Cao and Mai Châu weaving villages in the northern provinces of Thái Bình and Hòa Bình, the Mỹ Thiện pottery village in the central province of Quảng Ngãi, and other pottery villages from the Mekong Delta province of Vĩnh Long. The event is touted as a highlight in the heritage journey in the central region, making contributions to promoting regional tourism growth. The Áo Dài Through History exhibition is one of the highlights of the Hue Traditional Crafts Festival. The event was held at the Hue's History and Revolution Museum on April 27th. 130 images, materials, and artifacts related to the traditional Áo Dài through historical periods were introduced to viewers, featuring the Áo Dài use on different occasions, such as daily life, important events, festivals, or even wartime. It is a chance to honor the Áo Dài and to convey to the public the message of preserving and promoting the value of the Áo Dài. The exhibition will last until the 20th of May. On Saturday morning, local people around Hoàn Kiếm Lake in Hanoi's walking streets had the chance to enjoy a live concert performed by the Rhapsody Philharmonic Orchestra of the Vietnam National Academy of Music. This is a group of 50 young artists who have creatively combined classical music with electro music. Many of the works performed by these young artists received a lot of applause by the audience. With the motto, "Music is for everybody and music is life," they have brought classical music to a very wide range of different people. Travel bloggers have become increasingly popular as reliable grassroots sources of information on destinations. Bloggers have inspired many people to travel, and Vietnam in particular has benefited from its great exposure from independent travelers. This has also been a popular way to promote the Vietnam's tourism industry in recent years.
Whitby Cha, an Italian travel blogger, has spent 7 years as a fashion, food, hotel blogger. She is now also a travel blogger, documenting her journey around the world. In a trip to Vietnam this time, Vicky visited the film location of Hollywood movie Kong Skull Island.
I really liked the pagoda, which we visited in Bin, and also yesterday we visited one really nice cave where the King Kong film was also filmed, which was really nice because there weren't so many tourists and we got a really special tour in the cave, so that was really great.
Taking advantage of the effect of Kong Skull Island, the Vietnam National Administrative of Tourism organized a familiarization trip for international travel bloggers to visit the movie's film set in Vietnam, such as Hanoi, Ninh Bình, Quảng Ninh, and Quảng Bình.
Như chúng ta đã biết là mạng xã hội hiện nay nó có sức mạnh như thế nào đối với lại cộng đồng, đối với lại mọi người. Chính vì vậy cho nên là thông qua các blogger, để thông qua các mạng xã hội để đưa những cái thông tin về du lịch Việt Nam, truyền tải những cái hình ảnh độc đáo, hấp dẫn, thân thiện và mến khách của con người Việt Nam.
For international travel bloggers, the Kong Skull Island film set is a fascinating expedition for their travel blogs.
I write many articles about the way of life, the culture, about the food, the gastronomy, because it's a very part of the culture, and about places I discover. And I will do an article about all the link there is between the movie, Kong Skull Island, and the different places we have visited. And I think it's a very good way to promote a destination with a movie.
According to representatives of the Vietnam National Administration of Tourism, they plan to invite bloggers from around the world to visit Vietnam from this year onward. They hope that recommendations of travel bloggers will promote the images of Vietnam around the world.
The Hanoi Opera House will be open to tourists who want to learn more about Vietnam's history, architecture, and art starting in June. Hanoi Opera House is located at the August Revolution Square on Trang Tiên Street. The building was initiated back in 1901 and completed in 1911. In its first days, the Hanoi Opera House hosted classical art performances such as opera, singing, and plays. The building features historical and cultural values and is one of the most notable centers of culture in Hanoi and in Southeast Asia. A camera is not only a tool to capture still images, but also a preserver of memories. For those who love photography, the camera is a close companion. Thus, the camera repairman is like a special doctor for their beloved friends. To photography lovers, he doesn't simply repair a piece of machine, he has become the reviver of memories. In this week's Culture and Lifestyle, we'll get a chance to visit a family of camera repairmen who have been reviving memories for 4 generations.
Tôi chơi máy ảnh được hơn 20 năm rồi. Cái máy ảnh thì đối với tôi rất là quan trọng. Vì là đi đâu tôi cũng mang theo để ghi lại khoảnh khắc của gia đình cũng như là những phong cảnh mà tôi đến. Tôi muốn là cái máy ảnh phải được người thợ mà mình tin tưởng để sửa chữa nếu gặp trục trặc. Tôi bắt đầu sửa máy ảnh ở chỗ nhà bác Phượng và nhà anh Long được khoảng gần 20 năm nay.
Cái nghề này là cái nghề của gia truyền của gia đình, mà nó như là nó là huyết quản, là dòng máu của gia đình rồi. Thì ngày xưa thì tôi cũng nghe gia đình kể lại là cụ ấy là làm ở trên chỗ Giáp Bờ Hồ, thì cụ ấy làm ở hiệu ảnh ở đấy. Ngày xưa là chụp những cái ảnh có cái vải đen chùm qua máy gỗ, đấy, sửa từ cái đấy. Thì là cụ ấy bắt đầu dạy cho ông bố chồng thôi. Thì chồng tôi nói đùa vui, tức là này, con lái xe cũng phải ngồi vô lăng thì nó sẽ quen lái xe. Thế thì con thợ chữa máy ảnh thì cũng nhặt từ cái ốc các viết lên và nó cũng thâm nhập vào trong máu.
With an established reputation in camera repair circles in Hanoi, Nguyễn Ngọc Long is a 4th generation in a family of camera repairmen. He is approaching his 30th year in the trade.
Nhỏ mình làm việc theo một sự gượng ép, lớn lên cái công việc này mình hiểu nhiều máy ảnh của những người bạn chiến đấu tặng cho nhau, xong rồi kỷ niệm của những cái ngày đầu tiên cái máy ảnh đấy họ có giá trị với họ. Tôi nghĩ là nếu mà tôi phục hồi được những cái máy ảnh đấy nó chụp được như xưa thì cái người mà nhận được cái máy ảnh sửa đấy chắc là rất vui. Mình thích tìm tòi những cái máy nào mà đòi hỏi khó, những cái mà ai cũng không làm được thì mình lại, mà làm được thì mình càng thích hơn. Cho nên là càng ngày nó cứ ngấm dần vào. Sửa máy ảnh ấy, ngoài cái tỉ mỉ mình còn phải có cái trí nhớ nữa. Tất cả những cái chi tiết nó đều có những cái nguyên lý và cái logic của nó. Có những cái ốc nó vặn theo một cái chiều ngược kim đồng hồ. Mình không nhớ, mình mà vặn nó ra theo đúng chiều kim đồng hồ thì lúc ấy nó sẽ gây đến trường hợp là gãy chân ốc. Nó lại gây rất nhiều khó khăn cho mình khi để mình sửa chữa lại những cái đấy. Không tháo ra được, phải khoan phá ra, làm cho cái máy ảnh nó không còn cái độ chắc chắn nữa như lúc đầu.
Care and attention to details are the basic lessons Long's father taught him. However, the sheer diversity of camera models proves to be a challenge for camera repairmen like Long.
Cái giai đoạn chuyển giao từ máy phim cơ sang máy phim điện tử là một cái bước ngoặt rất khó khăn đối với tất cả những người thợ sửa chữa máy ảnh như chúng tôi. Đấy, nghĩa là chúng tôi bắt đầu phải tháo ra từng cái một, bắt đầu nghiên cứu nguyên lý làm việc, cách vận hành. Những năm gần đây thì cửa hàng của mình thì đa phần nhiều đến hơn một nửa là sửa về máy phim và lens của máy phim. Thì họ tin tưởng tay nghề của bố tôi tuyệt đối. Còn với tôi thì người ta cũng coi như là một cái thợ mới thôi, cũng không coi tôi là con của cụ. Cho nên là bây giờ khách nào đến với gia đình tôi, với tôi phải tạo lại một cái niềm tin mới.
The joy people feel when receiving their cameras as good as new is also the joy of the repairman. This workshop holds many memories of Long's father and his customers. Now that he is gone, the workshop has moved to a new location. However, when their cameras break down, many still come to Long, the reviver of memories, a reputation established and maintained over 4 generations.
Sửa ký ức đấy gần như là cụ biết là từng bức ảnh, từng lúc chụp ảnh nó rất quý giá với mọi người như thế nào. Sửa máy ảnh, cụ đều bắt tôi phải làm thật kỹ, kiểm tra thật kỹ, tránh tất cả mọi sai sót. Cái máy ảnh nó phải hoạt động thật là tốt khi người ta đi chụp, người ta không xảy ra vấn đề gì. Tại vì những cái khoảng khắc đấy họ không bao giờ họ quay lại được. Máy ảnh mà hỏng hay là nó trục trặc thì lúc đấy là đối với họ cũng là một mất mát lớn.
Culture Mosaic is a weekly journal here on VTV International, looking to give you, our viewers, the latest scoop on the cultural scene here in Vietnam. Whether it be the diversity and richness of century-old heritage or the dynamic and exciting vibe of the modern Vietnam, we hope to bring you the many facets of the cultural and artistic soul here in the country. So don't go away, as we have many more news coming your way. London-based pianist Whitby Cha is one of the 2 well-known Vietnamese artists in the world piano scene, along with Đặng Thái Sơn. Her solo and concerto performances and recordings have been praised by international audiences and media. Her love for music grows day by day and is a bridge to connect different people and cultures. We'll get a chance to take a listen to her story in this week's episode of On the Mic.
Whitby Cha was born into a family engaged in the arts. Her mother was renowned actress Cha Giang, and her father was the late music professor and violinist Whitby Ngọc. She held her first piano performance at the Hanoi Opera House when she was just 10 years old. At 14 years of age, she began her studies at the Moscow Conservatory in Russia and the Royal Academy of Music in London. Since then, she has been living and working in the UK. Her performances are praised as coruscating by The Independent, sophisticated by D. Rifas, and surpassing keyboard artistry and passion by American Record Guide. She is also the first Vietnamese alumnus to be honored as an associate of the Royal Academy of Music for her significant contribution to the music profession in 2013.
Thank you so much for joining our program. So you gave the first performance at the Hanoi Opera House when you were only 10. Was it the first milestone in your music career?
I wouldn't say that it's the first milestone in the music career because I was just a student. And as I think with other students who done well in the exams, we are chosen to give a performance. But to look back, it was a significant event because even now, if I were to play in Hanoi Opera House or Saigon Opera House, I always feel very nervous because it's such an important place in our culture with so much historic atmosphere. So yes, it was a good start, I would like to say.
All of your family members have participated in the art scene. So how has it influenced your music career?
I think it certainly helps that I grew up with music all around me and with my mother's books. So I was immersed in music and words and literature since very early age. So music came very natural to me. But I didn't love the piano straight away because when you started as a young kid, you really have to practice a lot. And I at the time was much more interested in other things rather than music. But when I came to Russia to study, my professor there really opened me up to the world of beauty, of sounds that I understood immediately that this is what I really want to do for the rest of my life.
Who was the first person inspired you to play piano?
It was really a funny story. It doesn't sound glamorous at all. My father was the professor of violin, so it was natural that he wanted me to pick up the instrument that he knows so well. And we got the instrument, and I was 4. I started to play, and I realized immediately that I couldn't make any good sound out of it. You know that if you heard a child playing the violin from the start, it's just like scratching. So I thought, Father, I really don't like this. So get me the piano. Because I just saw that, with the piano, everything is tuned in advance. So I at the time thought that I wouldn't have to worry about the tuning. I just sit down and put my hands on it. It would be just easy. So that's how we got the piano instead. But I didn't realize that it was so difficult to make it happen. At the end of the day, I really love music. I feel music in my veins. So it doesn't really matter what instrument I would choose to be my voice.
Besides core repertoires, pianist Whitby Cha has received wide critical acclaim for her recordings of works by Swiss composer Joachim Raff, the leading composer of the Romantic period, who was forgotten for most of the 20th century. By showcasing the music of this lesser-known artist, she has revived the beauty of Raff's compositions on 2 CDs produced by Sterling Records and on 6 more by Naxos Records. 2 of these 8 CDs were chosen as Album of the Week by The Independent in March 2010 and April 2012.
Your performances balance core repertoire and also lesser-known music, and especially your performances and records of piano solos and concertos by Swiss composers Joachim Raff to attention of both audiences and meter. So could you share more about this?
Something that are so well known that is in the core repertoire, as we call it, as you know, music of Beethoven, Bach. People have made milestones for Western classical music. But if you look into the history of Western classical music, there are so many other composers who I think the works are not deserved the attention. Back in Russia, when I was studying, my professor there, he was always encouraged me to look outside the beaten path, so that I can explore other pieces rather than just works of Beethoven and Bach and Mozart and so on. So since then, I always developed the curiosity of asking myself, what else out there? What else out there? What else can I look into? And surprisingly, there are a lot to look into. And this composer, Joachim Raff, came to my attention in 2007. He apparently was a very prominent composer, but his work just disappeared from the radar of consciousness of musicians and audience alike. And as we started to look into it, I was so impressed, because this is the composer who was so important to be ignored. So we started to dive into it, and that's how the journey started.
You also had a chance to work in Naxos Record, the world leading classical music label. So could you share more about this collaboration?
Prior to that, I already recorded 2 concerto discs of Joachim Raff's with another label in Sweden, Sterling. So they knew about this, and they were very interested in understanding what else out there, because Naxos is a very adventurous label. They call themselves the discovery label. So we almost have the same mindset that we want to explore more. So we started talking, and I said, yes, that's it. I mean, there's a lot of piano music that has not been recorded. Why don't we look into it? So we looked into it. So we started with 3 CDs, and then we thought, why don't we do another 3 more? Because there's so much more. And now the collaboration is still ongoing, because I'm about to record 2 of his piano works for piano and orchestra this May in Prague.
The piano is not simply an instrument to play music. For pianist Whitby Cha, it is also a means to connect with other people and support them in doing good. This is why she has performed at a number of charitable events by international organizations that support Vietnam. Recently, she joined a fundraising gala by Facing the World, a UK NGO providing free surgeries for children with facial deformities and on-the-job training for Vietnamese doctors.
Besides your art projects, you have also participated in charity activities such as a fundraising gala of Facing the World. So how do you want to use your music and talent as a means to help people?
The time I grew up, this time I had to go study, if it wasn't for the generosity and kindness of all the sponsorships and scholarships that I received, I wouldn't be here today at all, talking about discovery, new music and all that. So for that, I do feel that music for me is a means to connect to people, to listen to people, and to learn about life. So this is one of my ways to contribute to the society that, in my case, was so generous in helping me to achieve my dreams.
Once again, thank you so much for joining our program.
Thank you.
Portrait painting is familiar with many of us. You can easily see the portraiture artists with their drawing boards sitting along the walking streets on the weekends here in Hanoi. However, have you ever thought about the idea of painting a portrait of your beloved pets, like your dog or your cat? And this week, Connecting Culture will get a chance to meet with Josh Roxas, a Filipino artist in his trip to Vietnam, and to explore his meaningful project for pets and pet lovers called the Hanoi Pet Portrait Project 2017.
My name is Josh Rojas. I'm an artist from the Philippines. Now, I'm here living in Hanoi, the capital of Vietnam. I have worked in art field for more than 7 years. I also love pets. For me, pets are like special friends. They are like special people with the same feeling, but they cannot just express, they cannot just say it. I have 2 cats, Burrito and Taco. The love for them inspired me and made me think of doing a project for pet lovers.
Để chơi được với mèo thật sự thì phải hỏi Just. Anh có cái cách thu hút những bé mèo về cùng với mình. Mình thấy anh ấy dùng cái cọ vẽ của anh ấy đập xuống đất rất nhiều. Nhưng mà kiểu nó gây được cái sự chú ý của những em mèo ấy. Lúc những chú mèo chạy ra thì kiểu anh ấy chơi thân tất cả và những con mèo đấy kiểu yêu anh ấy thật sự ấy.
Hanoi Pet Portraits is the name of Josh's special project in Vietnam. Some find it strange when he asks for a photo of their pet, then paints a portrait for free. However, this is what Josh has been doing for years, with the hope of raising animal welfare in the community.
Pet Portraits project is not just one-time project. It's like everywhere I go, I always have Pet Portraits project, and I always introduce to people that this is my project that I'm going to have, and if you have pet, like send them to me, I can paint it.
Josh has painted pet portraits for many international friends from Thailand, New Zealand and Australia. Josh's efforts have also had a far reach. In 2016, he worked with Paws Bangkok, an animal charity foundation, and held a live painting party to raise funds for the homeless animals.
Paws is a foundation in Bangkok that support the dogs and the cats. The Paws Foundation in Bangkok, they pick up the dog and cat without owner and they bring it home and they take care of them and then they look for owner, for home for them. And we sell money, we raise fund and give to Paws to buy food, to help them with the medicine.
Following Josh in the first days of his Hanoi Pet Portrait project, we had a chance to meet his special friends.
Normally Josh paints from pictures. However, today he will make an exception for us.
According to Josh, it's hard for a pet to sit still. Therefore, painting a portrait requires the artist to spend more time with the pet, to comfort it and understand its soul. This is also a goal he has set for himself during the project.
Động vật là những người bạn mà có những lúc mà mình cảm giác như là nói với chó với mèo mình cũng cảm giác như là kiểu mình được giải bày tâm sự ấy, nó sẽ làm cho người ta có một cái nhìn, một cái nhận thức khác về việc là nuôi chó mèo ở Việt Nam.
Each of his portraits feature the pet's character. This gives Josh painting a special power, which can inspire a feeling of love for pets.
Khi bạn nhìn bức tranh tôi hiện hiện đúng cái được chú mèo đấy đang nghĩ gì, chú mèo là kiểu dạng mèo, kiểu tính cách như ra sao.
Cái tinh thần rồi cái linh hồn, cảm giác nó rất là nó rất là đẹp.
Small project target small audiences. However, it's not too much to say that the Hanoi Pet Portrait projects of Josh Rosas could be the first step in creating something greater in the future. Have you sent your pet's photos to Josh yet?
And that is the end of our program this week. If you would like to provide any feedback or comment on anything you see here on Culture Mosaic, please feel free to write to us at vtvinternational@vtv.vn and make sure to include both your name and address. You can also log on to our website at vtv4.vn or our YouTube channel at vtv4go for more of our program. Don't forget to join us next week for another episode of Culture Mosaic. Until then, goodbye for now.